What is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Sacred and Secure Pod. I am excited for today's guest. Today's episode is a little bit different because I want to talk about health and wellness with the hantavirus and all these other viruses that are out there. I think it's really an important time to really discuss these things. Today, we have Dr. Victoria Alston with us. She owns a mobile chiropractor business and she has been practicing for a few years. And of course, if you're wondering if we're related because we look alike, she is my sister. Why not make it a family affair? Everyone, welcome Dr. Austin in the house. Boop, 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 boop.
Hey girl.
Welcome.
Thank
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Yes, welcome. Okay, so for people who don't know much about you, right, go ahead and give us just a little bit about who you are.
So I am a woman of God. Like we love Jesus over here. We do not play about our Lord and Savior. Period. I love people. I love serving others. I'm a daughter. I ain't nobody mama yet, but we waiting on it. I'm your mother. Get your wifey. And overall, I just love serving others. I believe that's my passion.
Hey, we love it over here. We love it. So, what made you pursue chiropractic care and how has it changed the way you view healing? Like, how did you even get into this journey?
So at the age of 15, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. However, my senior year of college is when I decided to be a chiropractor. So what happened was a recruiter from Life University came to my institution. She talked about the benefits of chiropractic care, the importance of chiropractic care. So I ended up going to a leadership weekend at Life University. I had an opportunity to interact with the students who were pursuing their chiropractic degrees, and I also had an opportunity to meet with doctors, and doctors were very enthusiastic about the profession of chiropractic care, and I feel like what sold me is about the benefits of chiropractic care. I know growing up, our parents did not send us to a chiropractor for neck pain or low back pain. It was just like, "Lay your behind down or you go get that medicine." And I feel like I would like to bring awareness to the community to give them different resources to give them different resources to pursue instead of just taking the pill. So I knew deep down that I didn't want to be a provider that just treated symptoms. I wanted to be a provider that helped prevent or find the root cause of different issues. So essentially, I didn't want to be a legal drug dealer.
I know that's right. Speaking of which, too, right? Like, as a chiropractor, you mentioned earlier that you love Jesus. And chiropractic care in general is a
Hmm.
more holistic method, right?
Hmm.
How do you feel about that, knowing that the world is so dependent on big pharma,
Hmm.
pharmaceuticals? How does that fit in?
So, as I said before, I am a believer. So I think that's what makes this incredible. Not only am I a believer, but I'm a provider. Everywhere I go, I just take my faith with me. When it comes to covering different office, I always pray before my visits. I pray over the building. I pray to allow the Holy Spirit to be habit into that place. I pray for discernment that God gives me what I need to make sure I am providing the best care as it relates to their treatment plan. So bringing my faith into wherever clinic I'm covering. Sometimes I pray over patients, like if they need prayer, we intercede on behalf of their healing. But in the day, we know that, Jesus paid the ultimate sacrifice. Like, not only did he went on the cross for our sins, but he went on the cross for our infirmities. He went on the cross for our sicknesses. He went on the cross for our healing. So I think it's imperative to definitely bring my faith and my belief when I'm practicing.
Now, y'all see, sis is out here preaching, okay? Sis said, "You're gonna get this word today. You're gonna get Jesus and an adjustment." I know that's right. So
Here.
let's kind of back up a little bit, right? Chiropractic care is dominated by our counterparts, people that
Mhm,
doesn't necessarily look like us.
uh,
And I know that you've had certain experiences, right,
mhm,
that you went through when it came to working for your counterparts. Talk a
mhm.
little bit about those experiences and then how that ultimately led you to entrepreneurship.
So initially, for those that do not know, I actually started my chiropractic career in Illinois. Y'all, I was in the country fields. I was in the farmland. It was overall, it was a good experience. However, as a first year doc, I just feel like I had too many responsibilities. Like I managed a clinic my first year of practicing. Not only did I manage a clinic, I was traveling to three other clinics. So that was a lot, and not only that, I was working long hours. Um, I feel like, in a sense, chiropractic is a profession where employers eat their own, which means they try to take advantage of new docs. I feel like we are not looked at as human beings, but human machines. So I knew if I wanted to have longevity in this profession, I had to make some changes. Overall, there was a specific, situation when I was in a toxic environment, very racist environment, an environment that brought about a lot of anxiety, and I just knew that I didn't wanna be in that predicament, so I feel like I was kinda forced to start entrepreneurship, even though my goal was to kinda be an associate for 3 or 4 years before I even made that step. But I can say that it's been the best thing ever. Like, I'm out here practicing, I'm living my soft life, being a soft chiropractor, you know what I mean? I'm able to practice how I want to practice. I'm able to treat how I want to treat without having micromanagement, if that makes sense.
I love that. So also too, right? Unfortunately, what you're saying is that chiropractors are overworked and underpaid. Do you
Absolutely.
feel like that is something in relations to being a black chiropractor in general, or do you feel like that is synonymous for the entire practices of chiro?
I feel like it's for the entire field of chiropractic. I feel like essentially as a new doc you should pay your dues, but when it gets to a point where it's affecting your physical health and your mental health, I don't feel like that's a good environment for you. Yeah, I feel like you should be
I
protecting at all costs for sure.
I agree. I agree. And unfortunately, even with me working in corporate America, that happens too, right? Where you feel like you're overworked, underpaid, mental health kind of declines. And so I think it's important for every person to take care of their body. Which brings me to my next question about the signs. Like, what are some signs as women or as people? What are some habits that we have that you feel like, or when we feel like our body's crying out for help, what signs should we look for?
So when it comes to different signs and symptoms, burnout doesn't have to look dramatic. It can look as simple as having headaches, having poor sleep patterns, having digestive issues, right? Having irritability, anxieties, like those can play a role in, how you feel as far as messaging your body if it's about to crash or not.
Okay. So you're saying that, it doesn't have to be, I love the term that you use, dramatic. Like, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be this big drawn out thing. You're saying
Uh,
little things, headaches, sometimes migraines. These are
uh,
key indicators that someone needs to go and see a chiro, or are these just key indicators to take signs of, to take notice of?
I would say both. So I would say you should be connected to your body, when something feels off. I just feel like sometimes as a community, we don't advocate for ourselves. Sometimes we don't even go to the doctor. Like, do y'all have a PCP? Like, that's so true. Like,
Black
sometimes we're
men, black men, I need y'all, if you're watching this episode, I need you to listen. Black men.
you need to go to the doctor. So we need to do a better job in advocating for ourselves, and then we need to do a better job at slowing down. I feel like society has conditioned us. Okay, we need to climb the corporate ladder, or we just need to lock in until we die. Like, no, we need to take mental note of that, and we need to not feel guilty for resting. I think it's imperative to rest and rejuvenate and revive yourself in order for you to live a healthier lifestyle.
I agree 1,000%. And I think this also brings up another thought for me. So
Mhm,
sometimes chiropractic care, honestly, can be one of those things where it's almost like a luxury. It's like traveling. Everyone
mhm.
can afford to travel. Everyone can't always afford a chiro. What about, communities who are in these health deserts who don't necessarily have access to these resources? What can these communities do to still make sure they're getting the wellness that they need?
So I'm gonna actually disagree with that. My perspective is actually a little bit different. I feel like as a community, and I feel like Black people specifically, we put our money where we want to put our money at. You know what I mean? We getting our hair done every week. We getting our nails done every week. We're going to Starbucks every week. So I feel like if you can do that, you can provide the resources for getting a chiropractic adjustment. As far as costs, I mean, sometimes you can use your insurance to get chiropractic care, but like myself, I'm a wellness-based practitioner, which means I do not, accept insurance. But I also feel like my prices are affordable. So, like I said, I mean, I don't mind hosting community events or doing things to help the community to be more aware, but I also feel like you are responsible for your health and you should invest in your health just like you invest in everything else.
Y'all heard her, okay? She said that if you can afford those J's and that
Hello.
$1,000 kinky natural horse hair, she said you
Hello.
can afford a chiro. Okay, you
Yes,
can afford an adjustment.
and
Not her grabbing my wig.
I'm always as a holistic practitioner, like, I'm always going to advocate if you have a spine. I don't care if you're 0 months, I don't care if you're 104, like, if you have a spine, you need to be adjusted, alright? Because the benefits include decreased neck pain, decreased low back pain. It's very essential for people who have ridiculous like tingling and numbness. Sciatica, issues, and a lot of people don't realize that your immune system plays a big role in this. Like, if your spine is not getting adjusted, if your spine is not getting retrained or restabilized, it can bring about, issues like diseases. So that's very, very important.
I agree. I definitely agree with what you're saying. I've struggled with a little piriformis uh pain to a point where I couldn't even walk. And thankfully I had, some help in the chiro appointment before some other things happened, which I ain't even gonna go into. However, comma. This brings me to my next question, right? You're talking about holistic care, which I can appreciate. When it comes to living healthy, let's talk about diet, right? Where does diet also play a part when it comes to the Black community? Does it tie into chiropractic care at all?
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, we are what we put in our body. So if we're eating McDonald's, we're eating a fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, collard green, all the good things that is providing or that is putting inflammation in your body. You have inflammation in your body that can cause sicknesses. So I feel like I can have a patient and I can adjust them all day, but if they're putting bad stuff in their bodies, that adjustment is not going to be imperative for them. So I always tell patient it's a combination of diet, how you eat, supplementation, and then in additional to your chiropractic adjustment, along with exercise and instruction as well. So I feel like all of those things have to work together interconnectedly in order for people to live a healthier lifestyle.
Y'all heard her. She said, take care of your body
Yeah,
holistically. Okay.
mhm.
Say it again.
Take care of your temple. We only get one body, so we need to make sure we're taking care of our bodies.
I love that. I love that, and I'm guilty. I'm working on it. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Let's talk about a little bit more about you, right? Like you have this business, you have a mobile chiropractic. Let's talk about the name. Let's talk about what it's like being an entrepreneur. Like, what does the behind the scenes look like as someone who owns a mobile chiropractic company, firm, whatever you want to call it? Health on wheels.
Health don't So the name of my business is called Austin Chiropractic and Wellness. So I basically specialize in wellness care. So what that means, I only see patients who are interested in maintenance care to their spine retraining. Exercise. At the end of the day, everything we're doing on a day-to-day basis, like walking, twisting, bending, all of that can cause our spine to go out of alignment. But if we're making sure we're getting the maintenance care that we need, we can have stability, we can have increased range of motion. We can live a healthier lifestyle. And I always give the scenario of us going to the dentist, right? We never go to the dentist one time in our life. If we do, our teeth gonna fall out. We're gonna have cavities, right? We're not gonna have good oral health. So I think about the same thing when it comes to our spine. If we're not getting our adjustment, our spine is going to decay. If our spine is decaying, we're not going to have the range of motion. Not going to have the mobility that we need to live a healthy lifestyle. So at the end of the day, I'm always advocate make sure you are getting your spines aligned so you can live a healthier lifestyle.
Live a healthier lifestyle. And right, like at the end of the day, it allows you to live a longer
Mhm,
lifestyle. Unfortunately, stress and a lot of these things are silent killers. We see it all the time. So taking care of your body, like she keeps saying, is extremely, extremely important. Let's talk about social media and all of the 50,000 health
Right.
gurus who are out there. Like anybody can pick up a camera, and tell you how to lose weight, possibly
Mhm.
how to even adjust yourself. I don't know.
Not-
With
We're
all
not,
these fads
we're
that are help say it again.
we're not doing that. Y'all need to go to a licensed chiropractor. You do not need to go up the street to Uncle Pookie to get your adjustment. No, we're not doing that. Come see me.
Right, or mess around and break your neck if you want to. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So what does real wellness look like outside of trends, right? So for someone who is currently looking at social media, who has
Mhm.
maybe spine issues, spine misalignment or whatever, what kind of information should they actually look for?
So I would say the information that they need to look for the most part, is finding out what works best for you, right? So getting the resources that is going to help you live a healthier lifestyle. For me, is not about following a viral trend or what's aesthetically pleasing. You got to find out, what works best for you.
Or is it, for instance, like if I have piriformis pain or whatever, if I'm gonna
Mhm.
go to like, should I go to social media to look up piriformis stretches? Like what should be like, how do I determine the right and wrong information on social media?
Well, first of all, I think you should find a provider that specialize in that type of space. So what that looks like obviously is seeing a chiropractor, going to them, asking them for their recommendations or whatever you're presenting with. So, for example, say you coming in with low back pain, of course, I'm going to recommend adjustment. However, I'm going to recommend different stretches to improve your range of motion. I'm going to recommend that you work on your posture. Sometimes our posture can affect our mobility, and sometimes that can cause pain as well. So, I would say go to the source. Sometimes I do tell patients, like I think I told you to go on TikTok to find different stretches, right, to help with the piriformis syndrome. But I don't think that's the first result. The first result is going to, the provider that specializes in that specialty, so they can give you clear instructions and recommendations on what you need to do to get better.
Awesome. I love that. I actually had a conversation today with a friend, which is why I was a little late. Okay.
Mhm.
And she was talking about her, and a lot of people say that chiropractic care is scary because they're hearing the cracks in the back. They're afraid to go. They're afraid that, their neck or something might get broken. Do you think that's a valid fear for people to have?
Absolutely, yeah. So what you're hearing, I don't like to call it pop. I like to call it a cavitation. And basically that's the gas being released for your joint. But I don't think it should be something that you should be technically afraid of. I always recommend to patients, if you don't want manual adjusting in your neck, I have called an activator tool. So what an activator tool is, it's a low force adjusting tool, and basically it's going to do the same thing that I would do if I was actually manually adjusting your neck. And that's just for the full spine. So when it comes to chiropractic care, we do have low force techniques, just in case the patient can't tolerate it due to pain, or sometimes we have to have low force technique for babies. So it just depends on what they present with. But don't be afraid. Don't be fearful of doing something that could potentially help you live a better life.
I know that's right. Do not be afraid to get the care that you need. And I know
Mm,
earlier too, you mentioned the kind of wellness that you do, right? Like you specialize in a certain type of wellness. I also think that sometimes when we think about chiropractors, it's
mm.
typically, if someone gets into a car accident and then you have to go and see someone, do you necessarily handle, patients who have been in accidents and stuff
I
like that in cases like
I
that?
I do when I'm doing independent contract work, but as for me and my business, I'm strictly focusing on wellness patients.
Okay, so just so our viewers know, the difference is if you have a car accident, she's saying she does not specialize in that. She
Mhm.
specializes in maintaining your body. So if over time, you've noticed that there's something in your body that might not feel right with your spine, these are the things that she specializes in. But if you got in a car accident or had, a much more dramatic type of case, she's saying go ahead and find a certified chiro. And then my last question for you is I kind of want to go back a little bit, or the last few questions. I kind of want to talk about the body and pain a little bit more. So,
Mhm.
unfortunately, as a community, for whatever reason, doctors tend to think that Black women can tolerate pain.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so they kind of, shove off our complaints whenever we go to the doctor, or they might say, it's normal, or they might misdiagnose people, right? How much pain is too much pain as a woman? And how do we continue to advocate for ourselves?
So I would definitely say it's important, like I said earlier, to advocate for yourself. Going to providers that look like so finding another provider that's of African American descent. Typically, when you are with a provider that looks like yourself, they'll be more susceptible or treating your symptoms or help you walk you through it. Um, so when it comes to pain, I always tell my patients pain is common, but it's not normal. I feel like as a society, especially Black women, we have conditioned ourselves to be this strong Black woman. We have conditioned ourselves to endure pain. We don't have to. Like, we don't have to. So I would definitely say let's do a better job with connecting our bodies, knowing that we do not have to suffer in silence, knowing that we deserve good medical services and you should definitely advocate for yourself.
And what does advocating for yourself look like? If I'm going to the chiro or to the doctor in general, what kind
Mhm.
of questions should I be asking if I want to advocate for myself?
So you would basically, communicate with the provider, tell them what your symptoms are, tell them what you're experiencing it, how often you're experiencing it, and ask them like, what type of treatment plan can we come up with to resolve that issue? And if they're not hearing you out, you can always find another provider. You need to go to a provider that's actually going to hear your concerns and hear you out. So yeah.
Okay. So that means we're not lying, right? Like when we're going into the doctor's offices, that means we're really telling the truth and not withholding information. Does that also look like maybe keeping some sort of diary, like how often you're feeling the symptoms? What part of the body are you feeling these symptoms? How many times? What kind of medications are you taking for it? Is that also what you mean? Like keeping a diary of those things?
Yeah, you can actually keep a diary of your symptoms, how often you're experiencing your symptoms. If you feel it more in the morning, midday, afternoon, you can jot down things that are triggering your symptoms, so things as such. So yeah, that's a good way to help advocate for yourself.
I love that. Okay. Let's talk a little bit also about just you as a person, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that little Victoria is proud of Dr. Victoria? Is Dr. Victoria living her dream as this holistic healthcare provider? Or is little Victoria like, dang, I thought we was gonna be doing something else?
No, when I was a teenager, like I said earlier, like I knew I was gonna be a doctor, so I am definitely proud of the big Victorian, big T, not the little one. I'm very proud of myself and my accomplishments. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever profession you choose, you're gonna have ups and downs, but I am so grateful that I endured the things I endured. I'm so grateful for, the opportunity to serve other, and ultimately I'm thankful for God allowing me to be able to serve, to be able to heal others. So yes, I am proud of myself and the things I have accomplished because y'all know the story. Like it wasn't easy getting here. It was nothing, but the grace of God on how I got here. So yes.
It was the grace of God. And, as a family too, we're definitely proud of you because one, you're the family doctor. And two, like just to paint a little bit of the picture with you getting your DC, like people don't know that you had to drive an hour and a half, two classes every day and drive a whole hour and a half back every day for 2 or 3 years. So
So,
talk a little bit about that journey. Like you're driving all the time. You had a bit of a time trying to even pass like the exams. Like the entire journey was a
uh,
lot. So talk a little bit about that process.
so the journey was definitely a lot. It was a long journey. So I did commute to school. So I went to Palmer College of Chiropractic in Port Orange, Florida. So it's on the outskirts of Daytona Beach. So it took me an hour and a half to get to school every day. And I did that for about 3.5 years. And that's just how determined I was to obtain my degree. When it comes to being a licensed chiropractor, there are so many exams that you have to take. You have to take part one, part two, part three, PT, part four, and the state. And those tests are not cheap. Those tests are expensive, like, they're thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and when it came time for me to, like, study for my board, I did have some hurdles with part 1, but I can say after I passed part 1, it just felt like the floodgates of heaven opened. Like, I just started passing everything, and I ain't just passed, like, I passed with, like, decent scores, so I definitely think it was a humbling experience. I definitely feel like it was something that, the Lord had to take me through to show me that I can trust him, and to know that if he promised something, like, he's gonna do what he said. Like, God is not a man that he should lie. If he said it, it
Come
has to
on.
come.
He said, "Not my God." Okay? She said, "Not my God. It might be hard," but she said, "My Lord brought me through, honey." She said, "My
Oh,
God breaks protocol for me, honey." I know that's
so,
right. And
hello.
then too, I remember, this particular time I went on a trip with you, somewhere where you had to go and, like, study. We were, like, out of town or something. You
Mhm,
were away studying, and I was busy, like, shopping and stuff. I remember it was a great experience. But to see you go through all of that, it was such a journey just watching it. And to be
mhm.
honest, for me, I was like, I'm just a spectator. But if I would have gave up. I would have been like, you know what, Lord, get somebody else to do it because I'm not doing it.
I mean,
I'm not.
I had those moments. I was just like, you sure God? You sure? You sure you called me to do this? Because when you're going through school and you graduate and you see your colleagues, they're doing their thing, they're opening their clinics, they're like making money, and you're in the same space. So you do get discouraged, and you're like, okay, God, what are we doing? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do what you promised? But I mean, even in the midst of those situations or trials and tribulations that we may think or may go through, we have to think about the past. We have to think about the things that the Lord has brought us from, right? So if he did that 2 years ago, right, he gonna do it again. Like his track record
And
is good.
again, and
His
again,
his
and
track
again.
record is good.
His track record does not lie, right? I think we're all always in a season of waiting for something, right? Like we're waiting for just a bunch of stuff. You're always going to be in that season of waiting, but like you're saying, to just sit and meditate on who the Lord is and the fact that we are living in God's testimony now. Like everything that we're living in now, at some point we prayed about it. So to see the Lord's manifestation now is evidence that he's done it and that he
Mhm.
is going to continue to do it again and again and again and again. So
Amen.
shout out to the big G. Thank you for that. Okay, let's shift gears for a little bit. We got a few more minutes. Let's talk about the dating. But let's talk about dating as a healthcare person, right?
Mhm,
You're in the healthcare. Is
mhm.
it normal for another provider to possibly want to date another doctor or another chiropractor? Like, what does that even look like when other professionals are dating?
So, when it comes to dating as being a professional, most of the time, men who are in professional school, they're already married. They're already married, they have families, or if are in a medical program, you typically meet in medical school, right? Sometimes you can meet that person outside of medical school, but for the most part, the good ones are already married or, they're already in serious relationships. I necessarily haven't dated a chiropractor, because I feel like chiropractic men, some of them are weird. I don't know. Some of them are weird. Sometimes the elevator don't go to the top, but I mean, it there has been success stories. It just hasn't been my story.
Okay, see, because now I need to know okay, so they're a little slow, right? Because
I'm not
men, I'm not
slow
even going with it.
as a doctor, like, they're really good providers, professionally, they're good people, but they don't have the personality. They just weird. They're weird. They're quirky. Not my type.
Look, no offense, male chiropractors, because I know some ones who not weird. Okay, rich,
Mhm.
they nice and rich and not weird.
Mhm.
Okay, so then is your hope? I'm assuming, because you didn't meet your person right in medical school. I'm assuming your hope is that you're going to meet this person soon and have children and all the things. Are those
Abso
the things that you're hoping for?
absolutely. Absolutely. I always tell people I'm just gonna pop out married and pregnant, and it's coming.
Period. I know that's right.
Mhm.
I can't wait to be a TT. So excited for that. Okay, so last questions. What ventures do you have want to utilize your services? How can they reach out to you?
So right now, I'm just focusing on advocating to my community about the benefits of chiropractic care. I am still working on branding and marketing my business. So if you need a chiropractic adjustment, holla at your girl, right? So if you want to reach me, you can reach me at Tori Austin on Facebook, and it's Tori Austin underscore 90 on Instagram.
Period. Website coming soon. Boop, 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 boom. All right. Anything else you'd like to say to the viewers regarding either Jesus, Chiro care, taking care of their bodies, all the things? What do you want to leave them with?
I want to leave them with, just making sure you are taking care of your bodies, make sure you are advocating yourself, make sure you are in environments that are going to regulate your nervous system. Because half of the time we're in situations that are unregulated our nervous system, which can cause disease in the body, right? Which can cause disease. So just make sure we're taking our care and advocating for ourselves in those ways.
I absolutely agree with that. What she's saying is so important. Again, because stress is a silent killer. And at the end of the day, if we are believers, we are called to serve the Lord with our whole hearts. He cannot send us on mission if we're sick, if we're not feeling well. Like we need our bodies to be well so that we can honestly do the will of the Lord. So thank you, Dr. Austin, for coming on this platform today. I've definitely enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure our viewers have also enjoyed the conversation. And just one quick shout out, you guys, I do have a book called Love Didn't Break Us. It is a romance novel. I like to think of it as like Love Jones' Christian version a little bit, kind of meets Tyler Perry, but the old Tyler Perry. Tyler, if you watching this, holla at your girl. So go ahead on Amazon. The book is on Amazon. Love Didn't Break Us. So feel free to buy a copy. Buy one for your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your sisters. Buy one for everybody. All right. All right, y'all. So thank you again for watching this episode of the Sacred and Secure Pod. We will see y'all again. Bye.